Kenny Leroy Roberts hails from rural central California and rose to prominence on the hard-scrabble dirt tracks of America. He won his very first pro race, 1972 Short Track National at the Houston Astrodome, and back-to-back Grand National titles in 1973 and 74. Who doesn't remember Roberts skimming the hay bales, headed to a come-from-behind photo-finish victory at the 1975 Indy Mile? About that unruly two-stroke, four-cylinder TZ750, soon to be outlawed, he famously belted out, "They don't pay me enough to ride that thing." Roberts made the leap to Grand Prix road racing in 1978, winning 3 500cc world titles on the trot, all on American Goodyear rubber. Off-track, he fought for rider rights and safety. He even formed a rival series, forcing European rules makers to take rider concerns seriously. How good was Roberts the rider? In the post-1973 modern era, he is second overall in winning percentage and third all-time in podium percentage. Turning to team ownership in the mid-1980s, Roberts won 4 more world titles with riders Wayne Rainey and John Kosinski. He later staked his own claim by challenging the major manufacturers, building first 2-strokes and then a 4-stroke. The 3-cylinder KR3 won pole at the 2002 Australian Grand Prix. Eldest son Kenny Lee followed his father's wheel tracks. They remain the only father and son to have both won the 500cc world title. A pioneering racer, team owner, promoter, constructor, and safety advocate, Kenny Roberts has created a legacy impossible to equal. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why the greatest American motorcycle racer chose to have his motorcycles, his career, and indeed his legacy on display in the Barber Motorsports Museum. This is the home for racing champions, and now the permanent tribute to a man known worldwide as King Kenny Roberts.
Born December 31st, 1951, Kenny Leroy Roberts got his start at age 12, on a motorcycle he cobbled together with his own hands.
I was going to be a horse jockey, and I rode this mini bike, and I almost crashed because I thought the throttle should go forward and then back. It's strange because at that point I said, I have to master this. So I spent the rest of my life trying to reach the pinnacle or master that mini bike.
Dismissed by Triumph for his size, the 19-year-old signed a contract with Yamaha, beginning a long relationship with the Japanese manufacturer. As an AMA expert rookie in 1972, Roberts won his very first professional race, the AMA Grand National Short Track in the Houston Astrodome. He finished 4th overall in the championship that season, with 5 podiums. Roberts is one of only 4 riders in AMA history to complete the Grand Slam. That's a victory in all 5 disciplines: short track, TT, half mile, mile, and road race. More impressive, he is the only rider to accomplish that feat in a single season. Whether he was practicing or racing, Roberts was always pushing the bike to its limit. There was nothing to be gained cruising around.
In part of trying to master the motorcycle, as I got better and better, and then I started dragging my knee and developing styles.
This style of racing was pioneered by Roberts. He leans so far off the bike, his knees drag along the asphalt at incredible speeds. He protects himself with heavy-duty tape. The
engineering was intriguing to me. and going faster and pushing motorcycles beyond the limit. I wanted to understand why there was a limit and where that limit could go with engineering. For me, it was perfecting what the motorcycle does when it's out of control to keep it in control.
International events, Imola 200, Transatlantic Trophy match races, and Dutch TT soon took Roberts overseas, where he quickly dispelled the wider view that American dirt trackers couldn't win on pavement. Cloaked in yellow and black and displaying supernatural riding skills, Roberts was christened El Marciano, Spanish for the Martian.
I remember winning the first race and they scrambled because they didn't have the national anthem. I remember saying, I don't think they're going to play the national anthem. They better.
Roberts had a natural talent, but he also thought about his racing a lot.
It wasn't about how fast I could go, because I could go fast, but I wanted to go beyond that. And beyond that safely and learn how to bring it back.
Roberts instilled his encyclopedic know-how in a generation of Americans. Eddie Lawson, Wayne Rainey, John Kosinski, and others, using mini bikes on a track cut into his California ranch.
We have motocross tracks, we have dirt tracks, we have mini bike tracks. We even have a little road race track. So it really depends on how you want to train your guy. When I was working with young riders, to actually try to teach them something, then you have various things that you're trying to show them or try to prove to them a theory that they need to understand.
It's a way to master what you need to do on a motorcycle at 30 miles an hour and 230 miles an hour.
You get a foot and a half or 2 foot right, and then there's all the pressure lets off, and then it goes sideways.
And they say, well, you don't do that on a road racer. You're full of shit. You do that every lap. Still the same motorcycle, still does things the same thing. Different angles, different lean points, whatever, it's still a motorcycle, still has 2 wheels. And I've had riders that have said, all the dirt track thing doesn't work anymore. And I said, so knowing how to ride a motorcycle better doesn't work? I don't get that. Learning how to ride a motorcycle to its limit is better than not knowing where that limit is.
When Roberts was racing, he had the best equipment. Technology improves, but some things remain the same.
The good guys are always going to be the best guys. There's not going to be someone that goes, my computer's better than your computer, that's why I'm better. That's not going to happen. Not in my lifetime.
Roberts' time as a rider was winding down when fellow American Freddie Spencer arrived in '82. Freddie wanted to win more than anything and had the natural talent to back it up. Roberts won the Daytona 200 in 1978, 1983, and 1984.
And I said, as I progress, when I go to bed and I'm not thinking about the next practice or the next race, how to go faster, I'm quitting. And that's what happened. I just said, okay, end of '83, I said I'm done, and left.
Roberts remembers a phone call from his son, Kenny Jr.
When he was about 14, and he calls me, he says, I want to start road racing. And I was like, oh.
It was probably a minute or two phone call. Team Roberts was in the United States with John Kosinski, and I just, at that point, watching John, dominate the AMA race, and I'm training with John, and you know, he's living at the ranch or staying at the ranch, and it's like, well, if he's doing this, I'm sure I could do this.
He did a few dirt track races, and of course he grew up with a dirt track in the backyard. So I set him down and said, okay, here's what's going to happen. You're never going to be as good as me. I said, you could win 20 world championships, but people are still going to say, oh, he wasn't as good as his dad, because that's what people do. And I said, if you can handle that, I'll let you race.
It wasn't a big thing that I focused on. Yeah, if you are comparing apples to apples of his career to mine, but he's still not as good as, that's probably true. I don't know that there's many people that are as good as my dad was. That's fine, but at some point when you're world champion, you're the best there is, which is what I became, right?
Kenny Jr. listened. He did exactly as he was advised, never questioning his father's instructions.
He's like, you're gonna do it the right way, and I'm like, sounds fine to me. Like, I don't want to do it the wrong way. I'm trying to get fast and understand everything, so I'm on a trajectory of learning and absorbing everything.
He looked just like me on the motorcycle. He had to have a lot more grit than I did.
I would say probably 70 or 80% of what I got was negative in the foreign or international press. I was the hardest critic of myself, but that nothing changed the fact of what I was, what we were doing in the moment and on the bike. It was just, at that age, I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. I just want to get faster and be world champion.
I didn't give a damn what anybody said anyway. And if they wrote stuff bad about him, I can't read, so it don't matter. So he had a lot more pressure on him, I think, and to be able to actually prove everybody wrong, it's just one of the things that he did, and he had to have that inside for that to happen.
Roberts Jr. finished 6th in Brazil to secure the world title.
That's cutting it close, but that's what he did. He won the world championship, and of course we were helping the team through that whole thing. I didn't go to the rostrum when he's celebrating his world championship, and somebody's going, what are you doing? I go, that's his deal, not me. I didn't want to take away his achievement. As many fathers out there know, you put more into your kids, and you could just see it from him, that accomplishment.
Behind the scenes, Roberts was crafting parts, cylinders, pipes, and more for the factory Yamahas, as well as his son Suzuki.
We won 4 world championships with Yamaha, and I got bored. And I went, you know what, I'm just gonna build my own. I was always intrigued with the engineering, and I was lucky enough to have a great engineer from Yamaha who spoke perfect English that grew up with me in the Yamaha company. That was our deal, and it carried on after I quit racing. It's like, okay, I still want to do this, because the factories at that time just were building what they wanted to build and giving me what they wanted, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do something. So I launched into building my own motorcycle.
In 1997, Roberts founded GP Motorsports and began producing his own racing motorcycles in England. Jeremy McWilliams took the 2-stroke, 3-cylinder KR3 to pole at the 2002 Australian Grand Prix against a new breed of 990cc MotoGP 4-strokes.
If you look at what we did, the rest of these factories should go home. Because what we did with very little funds, in no time, people said, well, it wasn't successful. We didn't win a world championship. I don't care. I made something that nobody else could do to race against what we're racing against. And to me, that's enough.
Kenny Jr. raced the Honda-powered KR211V to 2 podiums and 6th overall in the championship. He and his father left the paddock after the 2007 season. Roberts was inducted to the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame in 1998, and made a MotoGP legend in 2000. In 2024, Roberts and Roberts Jr. committed their motorcycles and a lifetime of racing memorabilia to the permanent collection at the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum.
I had all this stuff, but it's sitting in my damn garage. It's like, what are we gonna do with this stuff? And like, well, you're thinking like this stuff is sitting in my garage, which could light up any day and be gone. Barber came along and we went there, we saw it. I couldn't believe the museum. And for us to be able to put our stuff, my life, Kenny's life, in a place that my grandson's grandkids can come and see. Snap for me. I'm totally at awe of what they have been able to do, and that my whole family history is going to be there when I'm gone, which could be any day. You never know.
My dad's stuff and his story, as well as mine, is preserved. These things will be taken care of, and our kids' kids will be able to say that was my dad and grandpa, and that stuff now has a place in history here at the best museum in the world.
For that to all be in one place that people could actually go and visit, motorheads are gonna, I think, have a big awakening. Because, you know, America they don't see any of this stuff. Barber's bringing it to America.